हरि ओम। ओ ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री महा ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणां याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan tells Arjuna that one who remembers me while leaving this body at the time of death, he attains me. Hence, one should constantly remember Ishvara. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Constantly remember me and do your duties. Bhagwan says, when we do this abhyas of remembering Ishvara, then when we leave the body, we attain that Param Purusha. Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanuchintayan. That Divya Purusha is described in the 9th verse as Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anoraniyan Samanusmaredyaha Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. That Param Purusha is Kavim, means Sarvajna, Puranam, means Chirantanam, eternal. Anushasitaram is the master of this entire universe. Anoraniyansam, subtler than the subtlest, even smaller than an atom. Sarvasya Dhataram is a giver of result of action and upasana to everyone. Achintya Rupam, incomprehensible. Aditya Varnam, of the nature of Aditya, means bright, means pure consciousness. Tamasa Parastat, beyond all darkness. Such Purusha, that Ishvara, who alone expressed as Hiranyagarbha, Vaishvanara, one attains that Ishvara. See, when we perform karma, when we perform punya karma, and when we acquire a lot of punya, then we, as a result of that punya, we go to Swargaloka. But when we perform our karma, dedicating to Ishvara with Nishkama Bhavana, then we purify our mind. Our mind becomes pure. Then again, when we do some upasanas of the devatas, puja and worship of the devatas with Sakama Bhavana, then also we go to higher worlds. Even when we do upasana of Vaishvanara, Hiranyagarbha, we go to that higher world, Brahmaloka, and thereafter, after living there for a long time, one gains moksha. But if we gain knowledge here in this world itself, we become free here and now. But here Bhagwan is talking about one who has not gained that knowledge should constantly remember that Ishvara as Sagunishvara or Nirguna. When we constantly remember that Ishvara and drop this body, then we go to the higher world, means we can go to Brahmalok, and there we can gain that knowledge and become free. This is called Krama Mukti. Mukti in stages. So through this upasana, we reach Brahmalok, and in Brahmalok it is said that we gain this knowledge directly from Brahma Hiranyagarbha, and we become free. So this is the path of dharana. First we have seen that about the path of dhyana, that is niridhyasana. So after gaining knowledge, when we follow the path of niridhyasana, we gain abidance in that knowledge. We become sthita prajna, we become free here and now, we become jivan mukta. But if we don't gain that abidance in that knowledge, then again we go after that to some higher world and come back and continue with our journey. But if we have in our sadhana have done some upasana of Vaishvanara upasana or Hiranyagarbha upasana, then we go to those higher world, means Brahmalok, and we don't return. There itself one gains liberation by the blessings of Brahma, or one may remain there till the end of Brahma's ayu, and once his ayu is over, we become one with that Brahma. So all these various paths are also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, because as I said, Bhagavad Gita is the sara of the Vedas. So all that is conveyed in the Vedas are briefly conveyed in Bhagavad Gita also. So here in the next verse, the how one after leaving this body reaches that higher world, the world of Hiranyagarbha, Brahmalok, the world of that Param Purusha, or one can attain oneness with that Param Purusha, that is being described. So it's a very esoteric description. So let us try to understand. Verse number 10. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. Bhagavan says, Prayanakale, at the time of death, Manasa achalena, with a steady mind, unwavering mind. Bhaktya yuktaha, endowed with devotion for that Supreme Ishvara. Yoga balena chaiva, also endowed with yoga bala, the strength which one acquires after practicing upasana for a long time is called yoga bala. The steadiness of the mind is acquired when we practice upasana for a long time. So yoga balena chaiva, first we will just see the literal translation. Bhruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyak, by bringing the pranas, concentrating the pranas which are there in our body, concentrating the pranas in between the eyebrows, Bhruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyaka, and in this way, when one drops the body, satam param purusham upayati divyam, then that person, that jiva, attains that Param Purusha, that Supreme Purusha. That is, he attains oneness with Ishvara. Oneness with Ishvara as Nirgun Nirakar or Sagun Nirakar, or reaches that Brahmalok. So depending on our sadhana, depending on our upasana, depending on our knowledge, we attain the loka, or we attain that oneness with Ishvara accordingly. So this path, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji calls it Dharana Yoga, means a path of concentration. See, there is a difference between dhyana and dharana. Dhyana, that is the nididhyasan, happens after gaining that supreme knowledge. When we come to understand without any doubt that aham brahmasmi, that I, this pratyekatma, is Brahma, when we understand this without having any doubt, and when we practice asserting this knowledge, gaining stability in this knowledge, gaining that nishtha in this knowledge, that is called that nididhyasan. But if we have not gained that conviction, if our identification with this body is, and our distraction is very strong, then we should do upasana, which help us to make the mind more pure and to gain steadiness in our dhyana. So that is the path of upasana, or that is also called the dharana yoga. Dharana means focus or concentration. So we have to achieve this concentration through our various upasana. And the subtlest upasanas are the Vaishvanara upasana and the Hiranyagarbha upasana, wherein we have to understand our own self as that Vaishvanara or Hiranyagarbha. These are the steps. In Mandukya Upanishad, it says the first step is to gain that identity with Vaishvanara, then Hiranyagarbha, then Ishvara, and then you come to understand your oneness with that Brahma. So step by step, we can proceed on our spiritual journey to comprehend ourselves as that Brahma. So one who has done this upasana, Vaishvanara upasana and Hiranyagarbha upasana, they are very subtle upasana, and we have to do it ourselves. Ekaki yata chittatma, sitting alone, free from all distraction, free from all other agenda. One should do asana of transcending our own limitations of this body, mind, intellect, transcending our limitation of considering ourselves as karta, bhokta, jnata. See, this pratyek atma is because of its identification with the body, mind, intellect and all, considers itself as karta, doer, bhokta, enjoyer, jnata, knower. But in its real nature, in its swarupa, I am not a karta, bhokta, jnata. I am that pure Brahma. But that strong identification is there, which makes me continue to be having this notion. So in order to help me drop this notion, I do this upasana, because the scripture says that all activities which are there in the waking is done by that Vaishvanara. So don't claim all the activities on yourself, but dedicate all of them. Understand that all these are done by Vaishvanara. So identify with Vaishvanara. That is the Vaishvanara Upasana. Or we can do Hiranyagarbha Upasana. Hiranyagarbha is that same Brahma expressing through the total subtle body, total mind, total intellect, total ahankar, samashti mana buddhi ahankar, and samashti prana. We have seen, and also wielding the panchatan matras. All these are subtle, beyond the senses. The senses have not even evolved. So that is the subtlest, that Brahma, the Hiranyagarbha, the first expression of Ishvara, which we experience. The amsha of that Hiranyagarbha only we experience when we are dreaming. So when we dream, we are totally cut off from the physical world and the physical body. And in our dream, our senses and karmendriyas as well as jnanendriyas are withdrawn into our antakarana. So in our dream, only the antakarana is functioning. The mana buddhi chitta ahankar alone is functioning. And the pancha pranas are functioning. The pranas only activates the mana buddhi chitta ahankar. So my mana buddhi chitta ahankar pranas alone are there, and I am there with them. So that is the amsha of Hiranyagarbha only. So we have to meditate on ourself, that Pratyagatma. In the waking, we have to meditate on that Pratyagatma as one with Hiranyagarbha. And we should meditate on our own mind, our own intellect as the cosmic mind, cosmic intellect, our own ahankar as cosmic ahankar. Means withdraw our attention from the physical world, physical body, and just focus on the innermost self and the innermost our mana buddhi, ahankar, and superimpose the idea of Hiranyagarbha on ourself. That is the ahangraha upasana on Hiranyagarbha. It's very subtle. Briefly, it is I have described, but one has to keep on practicing, because the self in me and self in Hiranyagarbha are not two, they are essentially one only. He alone is controlling not only my mind, but the mind of the entire creation, intellect also of entire creation. He is the one who is the master of the subtler world. So when we meditate then what happens? We learn to transcend our own individual mind, our own individual buddhi, our own individual ahankar, and identify with that Hiranyagarbha. So one who does this sadhana for a long time means throughout his life, at all times. When this is done, then what happens? We gain yoga bala. Yoga bala is what Shankaracharya ji writes, Yogasya bale yoga balam tena samadhi ja samskara prachaya janita chitta stairya lakshanam. Chitta stairya lakshanam. Our chitta, our antakaran becomes steady, absolutely still, absolutely steady. How it became steady? Due to the abhyasa of this upasana for a long time. The chitta becomes steady. So that is called yoga bala. So this chitta have to be placed in our own heart, in our own antakarana. Means the chitta should be made steady in our heart. At the time of death, पूर्वं हृदय पुंडरीके वशीकृत्य चित्तं तत् ऊर्ध्वगामिन्या नाड्या भूमिजय क्रमेण भ्रुवो मध्ये प्राणम आवेश्य. So taking the chitta in our heart, thereafter I am describing as it is Bhagwan has revealed. It may not be easy for us to do it if we have not done this sadhana, but just listen to the description. So from that heart, the chitta, along with the pranas, are taken up through the root of the Sushumna Nadi. Through the Sushumna Nadi, the chitta, the pranas are taken up towards the in between the eyebrows, at that Ajna Chakra, in between the eyebrows. And keeping there, one keeps meditating on that Supreme Param Purusha. So when one does this, then Bhagwan says, once he drops the body, then he leaves his body from top and he attains oneness with Brahmaji, with Hiranyagarbha, or he attains that Brahmaloka. And remaining there in Brahmaloka for a long time, gains moksha. So this is like a yogic technique which Bhagwan is revealing here. Though in the next chapter, Bhagwan will talk about Bhakti Marga, a simpler way of attaining that Ishvara. But here he is revealing this yogic technique, the Dharana Yoga. See our pranas. Now let us do little bit chintan. Our pancha pranas which are there, which is keeping our body alive and which is providing the power for our senses and our mind, etc. to function. Actually that prana shakti is that one only, Bhagwan's shakti, but it gets divided into 5 in our body and functions to maintain the body. So these pranas, they move, they are like force, that power which keeps moving. So these pranas, they move through channels. Those channels are called nadis. Just like we look at our the space. When you go to the airport and look up in the sky, the sky appears same, normal. But at the airport or even away from it, the sky is divided or having many lanes which are recognized by the pilots who fly the planes. So every airport where the planes they land and take off, there are those routes connecting that airport and connecting then to other airports. There are those routes are there, which are not seen, they are subtle, but through those routes only the plane moves. At a particular airport, if a particular craft wants to land, then depending on the type, how heavy it is, and its speed and its altitude from the ground, everything is fixed, and which route it will follow in order to land on that airport, everything is fixed. And that is all controlled by that ATC airport, traffic controller and all. So it's very subtle route which they have to follow so that everything happens smoothly, there are no accidents, and they move properly. But those routes are not seen by us, they are very subtle. Similarly, in this entire our body, there are subtle routes which cannot be seen under microscope or even electron microscopes. Those routes are the nadis in which the pranas they move. So our scriptures have described the nadis, how many are there and what are their names and all. So out of them, the main important nadi is called the Sushumna nadi, which runs parallel to our spinal cord from the top of our head to the base of the spine. It moves in a straight line. That Sushumna nadi is there. Then around that Sushumna nadi, there are two nadis called Ida and Pingala, which coils around this Sushumna nadi, meeting at the various chakras which are there, energy centers which are there in our body, that Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur, Anahat, Vishuddhi, Ajna, Sahasrara, and all chakras are there. So this Ida Pingala meet there, but they keep moving around the Sushumna nadi. Then connecting this Ida Pingala, there are even more nadis going all over our body. There are about 72,000 main nadis. Some scriptures say there are more subtler nadis also, but 72,000 nadis are there. So our pranas, they move in these nadis. Just like our blood circulates in the veins, in the arteries, in the capillaries. There are many of them. Similarly, these pranas, they move in these nadis. Our antakarana is associated with this prana. And when we are awake, our antakarana functions more vividly through our senses. When we are dreaming and all, it functions through our kantha, throat. And when we are asleep, it rests in our heart. The antakarana rests in our heart. He said in the Hridaya Akash, in the heart there is a space in which it rests. Pranas are also there. It passes through that Sushumna. So here Bhagavan says, one who has done the sadhana of pranayam, one who has done the sadhana of focusing his attention on that Brahma, one who has done his sadhana of keeping the mind steady, one who has gained that yoga bala, the steadiness of the mind, such a person whose mind is not wavering, manasa achalena, also endowed with bhakti, great devotion for that Paramatma, or he has done the upasana of Hiranyagarbha, great devotion to Hiranyagarbha. So bhaktya yuktaha, endowed with this bhakti, with a steady mind, yoga balena, with that bala of yoga, should first place his mana buddhi in his own heart, and then with the help of the pranas raise that step by step, bring the attention, means the mana buddhi antakarana pranas focused in between the eyebrows. So one who wants to do this sadhana should take advice, guidance from those who are following this path. I don't know the details, but I am just describing as given in the Shastra here. So when one does this and drops the body, then the pranas along with the antakarana departs from his Brahmarandra, Sahasrara chakra, and goes through the path of the Surya, the sun, towards Brahmalok, gains that Brahmalok. See, just as our senses, they have their respective adhisthana devatas. Similarly, our antakarana also has their adhisthana devata. For example, our mind, the devata of our mind is the moon. Similarly, these pranas, they also have their adhisthana devata. The pranas of everything and everyone is controlled by these adhisthana devatas. So the adhisthana devata, some more information, don't have to worry about remembering also, just listen. So the adhisthana devata of prana, the prana, apan, vyan, udan, saman is there, na? So prana, the adhisthana devata is aditya devata. And the devata of apana is prithvi devata, the earth. The earth is the adhisthana devata of apana, and the Surya, Aditya, is the devata of Prana. Okay. And then the space in between is the Devata of Samana. So Samana functions with that help of that Devata. Then Vayu, the all around Vayu which is moving, is Devata of Vyana. And the heat which is there in that sun, which is spread all over, is the Devata of Udana. So when a person at the time of death, the karmendriyas get withdrawn into the antakarana, the jnanendriyas get withdrawn into the antakarana, the antakarana gets withdrawn into the pranas, and this Udana Vayu carries that Sukshma Sharir out of this body. And if one has done this upasana, then it takes it through the path of the Surya towards that Brahmalok. These are all described in the Shastras. They are Atindriya Vishay. We cannot prove them through any scientific worldly methods, but we accept them on faith. So here Bhagavan says that prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. And there were great Mahatmas who had dropped their body through this ways and attained that supreme. Means they have given even time when they will drop their body, and they have done this sadhana and must have attained that supreme goal. See, nowadays in our Kali Yuga, our life has become very complicated. It is not tuned to so much to our adhyatmic sadhana. Especially when we are living in big cities and all, it doesn't get properly tuned to that adhyatmic sadhana. In fact, our whole life gets controlled by the society, and more so, the Antim Kala is totally controlled by the world. A person who is nearing his end, something or other happens because that nimitta should be there. So something changes happen in the body. So one rushes that person into some hospital, and then they take him to some ICU and all, put all sorts of tubes and all. So with all this thing happening, to meditate and to bring all this attention and to leave the body in this way, as explained here, might be very difficult. But if one continues this sadhana, then with the blessings of Bhagwan, definitely we will gain some good gati and we can proceed with our journey further. As it was said in the 6th chapter also, Bhagwan says, Nahi kalyana krat kaschita durgatim tata gacchati. One who is following the path of kalyana, one who is following the path of goodness, there is no durgati for that person. So, prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga palena chaiva. So, at the time of death, if we meditate on Ishvara, Nirgun Nirakar or Sagun Nirakar, Sagun Sakar, whatever be our Ishta, when we meditate, when we focus our attention, one doesn't have to worry about where the pranas are and all those things, but just we, with love, with full devotion. We just chant Bhagwan's name and remember him. And with that remembrance, if we drop this body, then we will become one with that Ishvara, or we will reach a higher world where Ishvara's blessings will be there to guide us further. So here Bhagwan talked about meditation, this dharana, focusing our attention on that Sagun Nirgun Brahma directly, means through that upasana. But a little simpler method Bhagwan is now telling us in the following verses, where we can focus our attention on that Supreme with the help of that beautiful mantra Om. Bhagwan now talks about Omkara Upasana. But before telling about that Om, he is preparing in the 2 verses, he gives the introduction to that Omkara Upasana. So let us chant the next shloka. Yadaksharam vedavido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Bhagavan says, Yad aksharam vedavido vadanti. That akshara, that supreme Brahma, it is, as we have seen, it is called aksharam Brahma Paramam. That akshara Brahma is described or spoken of by Vedavita, by those who understand the secret of the Vedas. The Vedarthajnaha, the great Rishimunis, the great masters who knows the essence of the Vedas, who are the masters of the Upanishads, they speak about this Akshara. They talk about this Supreme Brahma. Yad aksharam veda vido vadanti. Then vishanti yad yatayo vitaragaha. Then vitaragaha yatayaha. Then all those spiritual seekers who are free from all attachments, who are endowed with 100% vairagya, free from all attachment, free from all impurities, endowed with total vairagya, they put forth effort to reach this Akshar Brahma, to attain this Akshar Brahma, to attain that Brahma, to attain that Brahma, to realize that Brahma as their own self. Having attained that Brahma, then there is no more samsara for them. There is no more bondage. So that which is attained by all these great seekers who put forth effort, that Akshar Brahma, and in order to attain that, many seekers, they follow the path of Brahmacharya. Yad icchanto Brahmacharyam charanti. Desiring that Brahma, desiring that Akshara, many seekers follow the path of Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means they surrender to the teacher, live with the teacher, follow all the disciplines, free from all their other worldly attachment and duties, totally dedicated to the teachings of the teacher, remain with the teacher for a long time, learning and practicing. Why? with a desire to attain that Brahma. So yad icchanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam, that pada, that state which is spoken about by the great Rishi Munis, in which the seekers finally attain, become one with that, to attain which one leaves the path of brahmacharya, that padam, tatte padam, sangrahena pravakshe. Bhagavan says, I will tell you about it briefly. I will mention that pada briefly. Sangrahena. I will mention that pada briefly. He doesn't mention in this verse. He doesn't mention in the next verse also. In the verse after that, Bhagavan mentions that pada as Om. See, similar verse is there, mantra is there in Kathopanishad also, in which that mantra is there, ki sarve veda yat padamamananti tapansi sarvani cha yad vadanti yad icchanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena bravemi om iti etat. Similarly, here also Bhagavan mentioned that pada, that wonderful state, that supreme goal, that supreme reality about which the great Rishi Munis they speak about, that supreme reality in which the great seekers, free from all attachment, they finally attain it, desiring to attain which seekers follow the path of brahmacharya. That state I will mention briefly. Bhagavan just gives a promise here that I will tell you about it briefly, and then he tells about it briefly as Om. So previously Bhagavan said that you can meditate directly on that Hiranyagarbha or Vaishvanara or Ishvara before leaving this body. But now he tells you can attain that same by chanting Om and dropping the body. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yap prayati tajan deham sayati paramam gatim. Bhagavan says, one who chants Om, remembering me, and leave this body, he also attains that supreme gati. So Omkara Upasana. But how should we chant that Om? For that also we have to practice, do our sadhana. So this is Dharana Yoga. So similar Dharana Yoga is mentioned now in the next verse, verse number 12. Bhagavan says, Sarvadvarani Sanyamya Mano Hridi Nirudhya Cha Murdhnya Dhayatmana Pranam Asthito Yoga Dharanam. Bhagavan says कि this verse is connected to the next verse, means having achieved this condition, then you chant that Om, and then with that, if a person leaves this body, will attain that supreme gati. Though he is talking about the final exit, but this one can practice regularly, and that will help us to gain our purity and focus. Bhagavan says, Sarvadvarani Sanyamya. He says that first you control all the dwara, all the gates. What are the gates? The gates through which the indriyas function. They are called golaka, like our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth. And also the karmendriyas. So Bhagavan says, restraining all the senses, the karmendriyas as well as the jnanendriyas, means their exit, their gateway, means restraining them from interacting with the world. So sarvadvarani sanyamya, restraining all the senses. Manorudhi nirudhyacha, and bringing the mind in the heart, means focusing the attention of the mind in our own heart. Then from there, slowly shifting our attention through the Sushumna Nadi towards our Sahasrara Chakra. Manorudhi nirudhyacha murdnyadhayatmana pranam. So bringing the pranas along with the antakarana to murdnya, means at the top of our head, means at that Sahasrara Chakra. And just focusing our attention, keeping that attention there. Then Bhagavan in the next verse he says, with this preparation, when we chant that Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran, chanting that Om and remembering me, yap prayati tejan deham, one who drops this body will attain me. These are all very subtle and very esoteric sadhanas which Bhagavan has mentioned here. And there are yogis and great spiritual masters who have followed this in the past and must be following it in the present times also. And through this sadhana, they attain that supreme goal. So more about this we will talk tomorrow. And Bhagavan then also tells us a very, very simple way of attaining that supreme. So we will see it in our class tomorrow. Okay. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana, and we meet again tomorrow. Okay. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boli Siyavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।